Hey guys, Salty Truth here from Amerime Media. Time to do a little movie review. Now, if you don't know, Spider-Man Homecoming just came out. It is amazing. Now, of course, it's certified fresh on Rotten Tomatoes, but of course, I still wanted to take a personal look at it to see if it lived up to the hype. Now, first and foremost, this is not a origin story. Like we're past that. They did it twice. Tom Holland is our new Spider-Man, and I gotta admit, I love this kid. He gives me the exact good balance of Peter Parker and the webhead. Love it. Now, the antagonist in this story is Michael Keaton, and hats off to Michael Keaton. It seems like he's come back in a big way. Ironically, he's playing the Vulture. And I say ironically because, come on, he just got an Oscar a few years ago for playing Birdman. So it's kind of its own personal inside humor there. He plays the Vulture, and of course, it's not exactly the adaptation from the comic book where Adrian Toome was a super old man that had this Vulture flight suit where he would steal youth from people. That's not really going to work out in this universe. What he was a guy who was paid. He had a company where they picked up salvage, and he was picking up salvage from the Shatari attack from the Avengers movie. So there's a lot at play in this movie. Now he was in charge of that, picking up all the alien tech and all that and disposing it. But next Tony Stark unknowingly fires him. He replaces him with the Damage Control crew. A crew that's very well known, especially if you're keeping up with current Marvel comics. So I hope you know. But from that, he takes a little bit of tech that he still had left. He made some wild weapons, and now he's like a under the radar alien weapon salesman, which kind of gives you a lot of a big reminder to the season of Luke Cage where we had the Judas bullets. Where we had the Judas bullets, bullets made out of the alien technology that could even pierce Luke Cage's skin and almost kill him. We also got a interesting variation on the Shocker. It was played by two gentlemen. Ironically, one of them was like terribly killed by the Vulture, which was pretty funny. Also, as I mentioned Stark. Robert Downey Jr. is in this movie to an extent. It's still a Spider-Man movie, but it's incorporated into the MCU, so you'll notice a lot of dots automatically connecting. One of my favorite personal dots is these random corny PSAs by Captain America. Now, the story is actually really... It's very 80s-ish. And I say 80s-ish because, of course, a lot of references have been made to Howard Hughes movies when it came to Spider-Man Homecoming. And they're pretty spot on. They're so spot on to one point they even had a scene of Ferris Bueller's Day Off playing in the background of a scene. It was cute, it was corny, but it all works. This kid's Tom Holland's comedy timing as our new teenage webhead is pretty solid. His best friend in the film is great. I mean, there's a great chemistry here. This movie feels too good to come out in 2017. You also have Jon Favreau returning as Happy Hogan. Spoiler alert. You also see Gwyneth Paltrow. Donald Glover is in it, but he's not Miles Morales. I really don't want to get too spoiler crazy, but I really do like this film. It's very relevant. Peter Parker is your modern teenager. A good couple chunks of the film are shot like a GoPro camera and or selfie stick, something like that, because that's what a kid would use. The costume is great. It looks like they went with a more Ultimate Spider-Man route since it's a suit that Tony Stark built and it has all these interesting modifications. Now, one of the great debates about this Spider-Man could Tom Holland match up to Andrew Garfield and Tobey Maguire? My personal opinion, he already surpassed them by default just in his 30 minutes in Captain America Civil War. Now, of course, a lot of people are going to argue with me about this, and that's okay. This is just my opinion. But let's be honest. This is the first time we've actually had someone who looks like a teenager. Tobey Maguire, right off the bat, looks like he was 26 years old. Andrew Garfield clearly looks like he just got his bachelor's in college. And mind you, in both scenarios, these guys are literally supposed to be 19 years old. Ironically, Tom Holland is 19 years old and he's playing a 16-year-old when he literally looks 15. So, lo and behold, it all works out. Now, of course, Stan Lee makes his patented cameo. Also, condolences to the Lee family. Recently, Stan Lee lost his wife, so I want to take a moment out to at least recognize that. Great man, great woman. Sorry to see her go. Now, another interesting dynamic was they took a different route when it came to Flash Thompson. Flash Thompson is not a cyberbully. I mean, Flash Thompson isn't a regular bully. He's more along the lines of a cyberbully. But it all works out. Plus, I love how Mary Jane is a way different character than we've ever approached before. It's literally the exact opposite of what we got out of Kristen Dunst, and it makes her so much better in so many ways. Because as much as I love Sam Raimi, the Spider-Man trilogy he didn't even fit into the early 2000s. Today, Maguire was 28. Tobey Maguire was 28? Oh, I'm sorry. Whoa! Thank you. Our man Justin just let me know Tobey Maguire was 28 years old. So he was the last person that needed to try and play a teenager. But that further reiterates my point. They tried to have an adult playing a kid, and it just really doesn't work out. Also, but I really have a great love for this movie. There's a very interesting balance, especially with you have a coming of age story. That's where it gets really Howard Hughes, Breakfast Club, all that jazz. But then you also have in these the Marvel elements that make it a Marvel movie. You have you have this compelling, understandable, relatable antagonist. He's not just a bad guy for being a bad guy. He literally lost his job and he tried to find another way of making money. It just happens to be highly illegal. But other than that, come to find out, he's actually a pretty decent person. I don't want to get. Again, like I said, I do not want to give anything away. This movie just came out, so I want you guys to get out there, go see this movie. It's a fun, good time. I really did enjoy this. Now, one of the things I am going to touch on, because you're going to notice it right off the back, a lot of people were pissed about it. There's a lack of spider sense. The spider sense, he apparently has no spider sense. And you know what? To me, that's perfectly fine, because the spider sense always kind of bothered me, because it kind of made him a overpowered character in a sense, to automatically have a defense mechanism infused into his body. So that's gone. So we have a much more vulnerable Spider-Man, vulnerable in all the good ways. It was a fun movie, very touching, compelling performances. Robert Downey Jr. does Robert Downey Jr. like no other Robert Downey Jr. could do it, because he is Iron Man. Side note, he has said that he's pretty much done wearing the suit. So We don't know how much longer it's going to be on that. That's me giving. I don't want to give away too much. But you know what? I'm gonna go full regalia on AmerimeMedia.com because I'm gonna give a full in-depth analysis and review with spoilers. With spoilers. So there'll definitely be spoilers uh in my written review. So I want you to make sure you guys check that out. But for now, get your butts out there. Go see Spider-Man Homecoming. And I love that it was called Spider-Man Homecoming because there was a homecoming dance. But let's be honest, this is really the homecoming for Spider-Man back into Marvel's MCU fold. That's what this homecoming was all about. I love it. I can't wait for more. This is Corey Salty Truth for Amerime Media saying do 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 do. Here comes the Spider-Man. It's corny, but I love it.